Talking Luca, Kyrie, we talking Katie Book. What's up? Welcome to another edition of Player versus Team.
Because they're putting their second game together. Them niggas was playing hot potato.
No.
They was playing hot potato.
Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Player versus Team, episode 3. We in here. Hello, Ron. Thank you for coming back. Appreciate it. You get to show us face this time. We also got Jay in the building. Thank you for coming through again. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
No, it's always a pleasure to have y'all come through. But for this docket today, it's gonna get spicy. I want to try to switch it up, and we're gonna start with something a bit interesting. We're gonna get to D-Book later, but I want to ask y'all what y'all thought about the Kendrick Perkins JJ exchange on MVP, on how they are determining MVP, and if you think it's valid, what you think. If you think somebody like out here biased, what's up?
You know what? I haven't even seen it.
Okay.
So I gotta get caught up. I've just been dealing with a lot this week. So
no, it's Gucci. Like,
yeah.
I could give a little run through. Okay, so basically, Kendrick and Stephen A was on the panel, and then JJ was talking. And Kendrick Perkins, he go hard, but he made the argument that the voters, public, when they make these MVP choices, some of it has a racial bias to it.
For sure.
Okay, well let me get into it. Racial bias to it, because with Jokic, getting MVP and etc. And I think somebody also brought up with the whole Steve Nash and Kobe being robbed.
So, and James Harden was robbed too, but we not.
Yeah. So with that being said, Kendrick was going hard, and JJ basically said, like, y'all get on here on this panel, and basically what you're saying is not accurate. Even though I was just like, he said you want to bring race into it, and he didn't think it was racial, and I'm just like. Anyways, Ron, Jay, what y'all got on the topic? Ron, what you guys say?
I think it's there's a little bit to be had from the racial aspect. It always is. You always have to throw race in there because it's always a factor. People always say, well, it happened X amount of years ago, but then today you'll hear a story about some wild mess that happened racially that had to do with, something or another. But I don't think it's as much race driven as it is maybe just from a bias perspective, and they still haven't really narrowed down what or how they are determining an MVP, because one year it's, well, we'll take the best player on the best team.
Yes, yeah.
The next year it's, well, we got to give it to this guy because
popular.
If you take him off that team, they're not even in the playoffs. He's got them in contention.
That's true. That's true.
So which one is it? So I feel like they kind of slide that depending on who they like, depending on who's the favorite at that time during the season.
Right. Jay, what you got to say on it? Because I know you got a lot to say.
So, I feel like race does play a part of it. Anybody, of any race, ethnicity, or nationality, if they see a player or entertainer, somebody that looks like them, it's going to be a little bit biased. That's just, what it is. Like, they may not admit that, but they feel the same way, we do. Like, if we see somebody, let's just say on like an award show, like, the Oscars or the Grammys or the Emmys, if a black entertainer wins over white entertainers, like we feel like that's one for us. So for them to say that, like race isn't a part of it, I'm calling cap. That's BS.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, it was a debate on First Take, and it was about like top 5 point guards of all time, and the older white guy, Mad Dog, whatever his name is, he had Bob Cousy as a top 5 all-time point guard. I'm like, come on, man.
Right.
Like,
you can't.
You know, I get it. Like, you got to respect, you know, like the eras, and you got to respect the former players. But if you put Bob Cousy in
Kyrie
today's era, he would get cooked. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
The players are bigger, stronger, faster, you know, more athletic. So yes, I do feel like racial bias does play a part of it. Now, what is going to piss me off, if Nikola Jokic wins the MVP, and honestly, I do feel like he should win the MVP
for this year.
I do. I mean,
based off, like, I think, well, I'm not saying I'm biased, but the way Embiid played, like, if I want to say the previous year he was robbed.
Last year Embiid should have won it.
Exactly.
100%.
Last year he was robbed, and then like later in the season he was just getting better, and I'm just like, so granted the season not, you know, regular season not over yet. There's still
it's not. You still, you know, you got about a good 25, 30 games left. So I do feel like at the moment, yeah, you could give it. Well, Nikola Jokic should win it, but you know the teams may collapse. Like you got Embiid going crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
You got, you know, Giannis going, you know, crazy, doing his thing quietly. The Bucks have, you know, reclaimed the top spot over the Celtics in the East. Jason Tatum, you know, he had a game winner against Philadelphia, you know, last week. So it's all about
it's crazy though, because I feel like Dame is not
getting the most impact.
Dame isn't even getting considered, and he been going like having streaks where he been scoring and hitting game winners. So I'm like,
it's
a favoritism game.
Is so like the MVP is it used to be about the best player from the best team, or, you know, like which team has, you know, like the best record, but is that player like a top 3 to 5 player in the league?
Right.
Like I said, at this current moment, I would say Nikola Jokic should get the MVP, but I would be pissed if he does get it, because I mean, LeBron should have been, you know, MVP multiple times, and I'm not even like a LeBron fan, but you gotta, you know, respect. You gotta respect his game, and you gotta respect his longevity, because
Jay is a LeBron hater. He don't like him. So the fact he's saying this is wild.
I mean, like I respect.
Jay, I be on your page. No. Jay, I be on your page. You be like F LeBron.
Oh yeah,
F
for
him.
sure.
F LeBron straight up.
That's only on the court. Off the court, I love LeBron. You know, he's a great father, great family man. You know, he does so much for so many people. So I can't not knock him. But on the court, I just don't like him because of his style of play.
Yeah.
I like scorers, like jump shooters. Like, I don't like to see all that dunking and everything all the time and slashing against the rim. Like, that's why I like players like Kobe and Curry and, you know, KD, Jordan. You know, so but if Nikola Jokic wins, I think this will be like the 3-time MVP, like three years in a row. That's crazy. Like, the fact that he may possibly get that and LeBron hasn't, that'd be
some bullshit. That would be some bullshit. Straight up.
It's nonsensical. And I want to say, if
Like if Giannis gets it, I won't be mad at it because he just be putting in work and like he's already got a ring. He's proven himself, so I wouldn't be mad at it. If Dame got it, I wouldn't be mad at it. But like if Luka got it, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I don't feel like you said what?
Nah, I would be mad if Luka got it because Luka Doncic stinks to me. I don't like his game.
He be scoring. Wait, but you said you like scorers.
Nah, like I mean,
so we got swag in the building. What's up, swag?
Talking about like the racial bias, I feel like Luka Doncic should be getting the James Harden treatment because the media talks about or has talked about how much Harden dribbles the ball, how long he has the ball. He has the possession of the ball for like 18 seconds, and then within the last 6 seconds, he'll try to find somebody to pass to to score or shoot or get the assist. Luka Doncic does the same thing, like, and then mentioning defense, he's capable of playing defense, but I don't feel like.
Oh yeah, he definitely is not. That's not his. He don't get to it. It's not
like,
a.
He doesn't get the. I don't feel like he gets the
Harden slander.
He doesn't get the hard. He doesn't get the slander that I feel like he should. But like he's somebody who also I feel like the media puts on a pedestal because he's white. Like they've compared him to LeBron, and because of the numbers, and he's averaging 27, 7 and 7, or 27, 8 and 8, and nobody's done this since LeBron, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but let him make a finals appearance first, because they're like, is Luka Doncic a top 5 player? I don't think that he is. Because in my opinion, James Harden and LeBron at their prime, I would take both of them over Luka.
Go James.
Right now.
Go James.
I mean, like at the age of 22, 2007, like LeBron, he didn't win, but he made it to the finals. Luka Doncic has yet to come out of the West.
That's
so
true.
Like I can't say that he's a top 5 player, because I mean, and then it's like he doesn't, to my opinion, he doesn't really make his teammates better because of how long he
that's a good point.
How long he dribbles the ball, and then like the look at like how him and like Kyrie are playing. Yeah, like they're averaging, they're getting like their 30 points per game, and then I want to say it was one game
they had 40.
They had both of them at like 40.
42, yeah, like 40.
But I wasn't sure if they won or not, but like I'm just not a fan.
No. I could respect. I could definitely respect everything you're saying, because I didn't think about it. Does Luka make the players around him better, or he just doesn't have the pieces right now? So like that's a real good point to look at.
They said give him a superstar. He's got one. So now,
right. So now it's gonna be, you're not gonna have the same excuses. So
I think if he doesn't, I'm gonna say if he doesn't come out of the West this year with Kyrie Irving, you got to start
questioning.
He's overrated.
Yeah. Well, everything you said. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just to add a little bit. Going back to touch on what you said before about Jokic, it's hard for me to not vote for a player who's going to average a triple-double or close to it, because that means that if the epitome of the MVP is saying you're making your teammates better, I mean, if you in double digits assists, I can't understand how you don't. Mm-hmm.
But do people get it? People didn't get, I'm just going to say this, and I'm transitioning because this would be a whole nother argument. People wouldn't have that same energy if it was Westbrook, though. But nope, we're not gonna do. Nope.
She said,
let's go do 30 minutes. No, we can't.
That's crazy.
So I mean, like so with that, the reason why I feel Westbrook like that season, like he didn't have nobody on his team. This was before Paul George got there.
Right.
It was a cornfield.
Exactly. It was real.
Like
It was real.
he didn't have no help and
No
he
sense of
went
Steven
crazy.
Adams.
So yeah, I feel like Westbrook deserved the MVP that season, but also the reason why they gave him, the MVP was because he did something that we haven't seen in like over 50 years, which was averaging a triple double. So it's like now, if
since
you see somebody averaging
Robinson, I think
Oscar Robertson,
yeah.
So now that it's the way that the game is played, the pace of the game. There's so many players that can average a triple double. I feel LeBron, of course, Giannis, Jokic,
Harden.
Who else? I feel like Zion Williamson could, if he could stay healthy.
I think Tatum could. I
feel like Jason Tatum. I feel like Jason Tatum could too. Luka Doncic. I feel like he could do it. Hell, KD could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like triple doubles aren't exciting unless your team
is moving forward.
Is winning.
Yeah. But
it behooves
triple doubles aren't exciting unless you win.
If you give it to Jokic, again, I'm not mad at it, but then it brings me back to what you said about the LeBron argument.
He should have been got MVP.
For his career has been doing what Jokic is doing now.
Right.
The fact that he doesn't have he like Jordan could have ran him. I would say him, Jordan, and Kobe should have ran off.
You said who?
Him, Jordan, and Kobe should have all ran off with they
should have ran off with at least 3.
So the reason, my opinion, the reason why Kobe lost out on a lot of MVPs was because of those rape allegations.
It's biased. Yeah. 100% biased. You can't make an argument for who a better player was
popularity
through that stretch. Even the post-Shaq era, nobody can make nobody can make an argument that there was a better player outside of and they went back and forth, Tracy McGrady. But outside of that, there was no player.
Not even Tracy McGrady. He had one season where he was
statistically better. Hold on.
That's disrespectful. It wasn't one season. They were going. It was a long time.
So you saying one season healthy? Are you trying to say healthy?
No. I said he had one season where he was statistically better than Kobe Bryant, but the only other player at the time who people were saying were like the best player. They were saying some people were saying Iverson, but a lot of people were talking about Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, because the era that Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan played in, they came in towards the end of the prolific big men era. So it's not too many big men who have like their style of play today. Back to the basket, posting up, hook shots.
The last thing was Boogie and a little bit of Giannis and Braun right now, but other than that, it was a dying breed, and I get you on that. But I'm just gonna transition real quick, just because with MVP, we already touched on the racial thing. I don't want to do it too much, but I did have an interesting question to ask you guys. Y'all heard what Shaq said though, not on MVP, but he basically compared him and Penny to Magic and Kareem.
Who? Wait, who?
Okay, Shaq said him and Penny was he compared them to Magic and Kareem. So what y'all think of that comparison?
I'd say
That's a tough one.
I'd say
the youngest I can know about Penny.
I feel like that's a fair comparison.
Exactly.
Because
Penny really was like that. Like
because I want to say that they made it to the finals, but his rookie year.
Exactly. Y'all don't, like, people don't understand. Penny was like that to the extent, if it wasn't for Jerry West recruiting Shaq, like, they could have really run it back. That's how good they were.
Nah, yeah, that and not only like, Jerry West recruiting Shaq, Penny Hardaway not staying healthy. I feel like they would have had a few chips. Man, and then, like, especially if let's just say, Tracy McGrady came to Orlando, like,
that would have been
a healthy.
I never thought of that big three. That big three would have been
Penny Hardaway, a healthy Penny Hardaway, a healthy Shaq, and a healthy Penny Hardaway.
That big three would have been oh my God, that would have been so nasty. Anyway, go ahead.
It would have been a whole nother conversation, boy. It would have been Penny to go.
That, like, we I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. This controversial. Even though Kobe is as good as he was, the way his legacy played out, he might have not peaked the way he did if Shaq never came there. I'm gonna be honest.
You said he might have what?
He might not have ever peaked the way he did if Shaq never came there. Like,
Kobe?
You
can give that same rhetoric to Shaq and say that does Shaq win the championship that he does without Kobe?
Yeah, but
it's the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen argument.
Okay, but you could also say, like, Shaq made the finals with Penny, so you could also say the argument anywhere Shaq goes, he's going to the finals. You see what I'm saying? Like, Kobe by himself too.
Shaq from Orlando to the Lakers, yes, but after that, no, not necessarily.
Right, exactly.
No,
because Wade carried Shaq.
No, Wade did carry him, but we also talking about, I would say, prime Shaq was him in Orlando and him in the Lakers. After that, for sure. I wouldn't say it's prime.
Oh yeah.
So if we say those years, I'm saying anywhere Shaq going, you going to a championship regardless.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to a championship. I feel like you're going to, like the finals with, Orlando Magic Shaq or Lakers Shaq. But you may not necessarily win because, Shaq has his imperfections. Like, he can't shoot free throws. He's not a jump shooter.
If you put Shaq...
He's not a jump shooter, but he had a nice little 12-foot little drop down.
He had a little, he had a little hook shot and everything. Like, he could do that.
He moves around the basket.
Where he in the lane with the net, game, he dunk on all five players. So it's just like, if you get him close enough to the basket, there's nobody going to go. There was only one person, in my opinion, that could guard Shaq, and that was Elijah Wan.
I was going to say that.
Elijah Wan and
Lottie Divac, no.
Karl Malone.
Well,
I'm talking about why he's active. Like, you talking about why they active at the same time?
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah. Karl Malone was strong.
Well, I mean, Karl Malone was a grown man compared to when Shaq was coming in. You know, and
but
Shaq was real. Like, he was.
Karl Malone was on another level before Shaq got to where he was. Karl Malone was. Yeah.
They put him out. They put him out in 1998. John Stockton and Karl Malone put him out. We could have had a Shaq and Kobe versus Jordan Pippen finals.
But prime Shaq, I'm not saying he was on steroids, but he was so big, like, he was huge. I don't think Karl was.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't
ready.
He wasn't.
And this Shaq was in his prime, like 1998, so he was like 7 years in. Yeah, Shaq was in his prime.
Yeah.
Shaq was in his prime. So, he couldn't get through, and then Kobe missed that three. So, I mean, they both had to become who they were. They just weren't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
That's
like
a fair argument.
I feel like Kobe would have eventually, gotten chips with or without Shaq. Because
I do.
He did it without him. You know, he did it with know Paul Gasol. And
I think it was taking him longer, like you said.
Kobe is the only player on the top 75 team who has won multiple championships without a top 75 player. Now, I'm not counting the Lakers, you know,
dynasty.
Like those chips when he won in like 2009 and 2010, he didn't have a top 75 player.
Yeah.
Jordan had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Paul Pierce had Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen.
Yeah.
LeBron had Dwayne Wade. He had Gary Payton. No. LeBron had Dwayne Wade. Gary Payton. No.
Chris Bosh.
He had Chris Bosh. No.
He had Kevin Love.
Gary Payton played on that championship team in 106. So that's what Dwayne Wade had. Dwayne Wade had Shaq and Gary Payton. Who else? LeBron's had, you know, Dwayne Wade. He's had Chris Bosh. He's had Kyrie Irving. He's had Ray Allen. He's had
Anthony
Davis.
Right.
And me personally, like that's another conversation. I don't see how not Kyrie Irving. I don't see how Dwight Howard didn't make the top 75 over Anthony Davis. But that's another conversation. And Damian Lillard. I don't see how he made it over Kyrie. Like it's just so much stuff that's biased.
That's very true.
And I feel like if a team or an organization doesn't like you, like they can find ways to
phase you out.
Like kind of like somewhat blackball you. And I kind of feel like low key that's what the league is trying to do to Kyrie.
Oh yeah.
They did it to Carmelo.
But we're gonna get into Kyrie. Don't save the Kyrie thing because
like,
we got
Carmelo. They're doing it to White. It's no reason why Dwight Howard is playing overseas, and you got players like DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin on the NBA roster. Like I feel like Dwight Howard is still effective. He's still athletic. He's not as athletic as he used to be, but he can. Like
he's still gonna give you quality minutes and points and all that.
If you give him the minutes, like Dwight Howard is literally
he's gonna be productive.
He's literally a walking double.
Exactly, he's productive.
But
same way with Boogie. Like Boogie need to be in the league, but we're not gonna get into that. We're not.
I feel like sometimes the players do it to themselves, because I feel like social media can help your career, but it can also harm it.
It can tarnish it.
So it's just, you know, certain stuff you shouldn't post or you shouldn't say because it can affect, you know, your career or your longevity. So, but I mean, I don't know.
So I'm gonna pivot real quick, and I'm gonna pose it at Swaggy. Thank you for coming through, Swag. I'm gonna ask you this. Y'all know I was talking mad shit on D Booker, and you see the title of this particular episode is "Do I Need to Apologize to D Book?" Man just went off, had 4 straight games over 35 points. And Swag, in your opinion, do you think I should apologize to Devin Booker? Because I didn't say he was trash, but I did say I wouldn't want him to take the last second shot because you got KD, and I would take the bag with Luka and Kyrie over Booker and KD.
Oh, so, no, I'm taking the Suns.
Oh, you should definitely apologize for that.
Yeah, no. We talked about this. We talked about.
Oh, y'all talked. Okay.
No, I remember. I think it was y'all that was on this thing, but I said the bag is bigger. No, actually, you weren't. But I said the bag was bigger with Luka and Kyrie opposed to Booker and KD. And the only argument, which was a valid argument, is KD is better defensively. That bag is different. They don't have a defensive bag over here with Luka and Kyrie. But off of that, because my argument was like, I don't want Booker to take the last second shot. I don't think nobody. I would rather have Luka and Kyrie take that. But do I need to apologize to him, Swag? Do you think I need to say something to him?
Just say that he's the GOAT.
Wait.
Who Booker?
Yeah. Just say he's the GOAT.
Steph
You said Booker's the GOAT?
No, like that's a GOAT. Like he good. I'm
Booker's
not saying
the
like
GOAT?
Wait. You're a Steph Curry fan,
Booker
aren't you?
is the GOAT. Devin Booker.
With some good weed I'm hitting. He said he's a GOAT.
Look.
You tripping, bro. I can see if you say GOAT Harden, but you said GOAT Booker.
Yeah.
You wow.
That ain't crazy to say.
Huh?
Wow.
No, like the last year. Listen, so my thing is this. I basically at this point, it's gonna have to be a series or a game or two, a few where Devin Booker saves Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's gonna have he's gonna have to have a bad shooting night, and Kevin Durant, not Kevin Durant, Devin Booker is gonna have to save Kevin Durant.
And that was my original argument.
I've never seen a game 7 where it's like he disappeared.
Exactly. You could trust Booker. Like you're not gonna be that was my argument for the bigger bag. I don't trust Booker to take not only the last second shot, but for him to be able to close the game out for the rest of the team. I know KD could do it. I know Luka and Kyrie can, but I don't trust Booker to do that.
And the question is though, can KD stay healthy though?
That's a good question.
I mean, that is the question, but that's kind of like going off of the original question. Like, so you're going off topic. So my thing is like if he's huh?
You just like no, but why is he the GOAT? That's what you just like. Hold up, you gotta remind us.
Like I feel like that's kind of like deflected from answering the question. So my thing is, if healthy, damn near any team KD is on is a lot to. I'm not gonna say go to the finals, but like you can at least make it to the conference finals. You put him on any team and he's
gonna affect the team.
Like he's gonna affect the team. Like he can play. He can
player. He's good.
He said what?
I'd say he's a top 5 player. He should affect any team he goes to.
He's and when healthy, he's the best. That's just my opinion. But to put him on any team, like he can catch and shoot. He can create off the dribble. He can go through screens and get his shots. Like he can literally
he can pass.
He can pass. Like Kevin Durant has no holes in his game.
Nope. Yeah.
None. Devin Booker. So my thing is if Devin Booker wins, yeah, KD carried and Chris Paul. KD carried Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Nah, I don't Devin Booker can't say shit because
I said the Booker hate is crazy.
No. It's not no hate. I just don't like that the media has hyped him up so much, only for him to last year implode and disappear in the playoffs.
That's very valid.
And then to compare him to Kobe. No, fuck no. Absolutely.
Who compared him to Kobe?
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith.
Y'all know Stephen A. He be here. Oh yeah, so he be.
But
he be off most of the time.
I just want to say, ever since he scored that 71, right? Everybody after that expected him to be he's Kobe's protege. He's about to be he is the next one.
Right.
Since 71, he hasn't done anything spectacular to put a team on his back to carry them. You have Chris Paul. Now, I'm not saying Chris Paul was. I mean, he's late in his career, but you could argue that season they went to the finals. Chris Paul was on fire for him.
Oh, I know you
So I will say like starting like before they got Chris Paul, because in 2020 like in the bubble like Devin Booker was balling. They won like 7 or 9 games straight.
That's so wild.
But like and it's been other people that have like compared them to Kobe too. But
a lot of people been comparing to Kobe.
You said what?
But a lot of people have, but like I said, it's been after that 71-point game. That's
wild. They play style not even like
nobody's compared to Kobe. Like they play because like at the age of 25, he was a 3-time NBA champion. Like
it's not even that. Like Kobe literally like meticulously model his stuff literally after Jordan. When they show like the comparison between Jordan and him shooting, this shit was damn near identical. So it's just like for people to say that, it's just like, nigga, what did you?
What y'all looking at?
What are you talking about?
He's a good player, but don't put him in the stratosphere.
Exactly, like
right now.
Nobody's in the stratosphere of Kobe. Jordan's not even in the stratosphere of Kobe. That's my
it's not to take away nothing from Devin Booker, but you don't put him in the category with.
Right.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. So what would y'all compare Devin Booker to?
Nobody. I mean,
right now.
As far as like shooting guards,
like right now or all time.
It could be all time. It could be both.
I feel like
I don't even know. Like
you know why? Because I feel like I mean like I would have to like go back and look at some of his games, but I could say maybe Allen Houston of the New York Knicks.
Kevin Love. No, I'm just playing. I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
I mean,
maybe that's the closest thing. Maybe I didn't even think of that, but maybe that's the closest thing.
Who Allen Houston?
Maybe Allen Houston, like you say, maybe something like that. I can't. His game is nothing that stands out about his game amongst any other player, really.
Right. I mean, it's not really distinguishable. Like
there's no distinguishment between him and the average NBA. I mean, you can compare him to Mikal Bridges if you want. Mikal Bridges is going off. He's having a career season since career game since he got traded to Brooklyn.
But I think Mikal Bridges, I'm gonna give him more props than Devin Booker. Like,
no doubt.
Wow.
The reason being, I'm giving him props only because he's younger. His athleticism is there, and the nigga's going off. Like he's dunking on everybody, and his game is he's peaking. And I don't see that same type of like, I don't see any distinguishing variables like Jay said with Booker's game. It's just like, okay,
like he's a bucket. Like he doesn't really have any holes in his game. He can catch and shoot. He can create off the dribble. But like does he play on both ends of the ball? He does, and I feel like once you have more offensive, pieces around you, you can do that. But I wouldn't say he's like the best shooting guard in the NBA. I mean, you got
too many other people.
Jaylen Brown, you got Zach LaVine, you've got Bradley Beal, and even like you still gotta put some respect on Klay Thompson's names because he had like a 50-point game this season. So
he's going off too.
And the media, has been, really like disrespectful to Klay Thompson. Stephen A said, he
very
was a player. And
I think y'all meet Ryan a little bit. Go ahead.
No, I mean
meet Ryan on who? Nah, you hate Damien.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, you a Warriors fan, so it don't.
No.
You was a Warriors fan though.
Nah, I'm a Curry fan. That's the difference.
Wait, you said you was a Warriors fan at one point, right?
So, I didn't have no team. I just like Curry.
I mean, I'm a fan of the game overall. I do have, favorite team, my favorite team is the Celtics because of Paul Pierce. Like that was my favorite player growing up.
That he's still your favorite after all the bullshit he done did.
I mean,
he brought them a championship. So
I don't care what he did. Like
KG, Ray Allen, and together they brought a championship.
nah, you gotta add Paul Pierce in there too.
Paul, I know. I said him too. I included him. He the big three.
Oh,
Yeah. My thing is just Paul Pierce's credibility.
I thought you was bringing up other players.
No. I was just talking about his credibility. Like, I really messed with him, but after he did that, he got carried off the court, and people thinking he injured, and he just and he had to use a bat. I was like, yo, I don't respect you no more. Period. Like, he got carried off by 2 teammates. Like, nah.
Yeah, because he had the shit.
Exactly.
I mean, he had to use it so he could go back and kill the
court. But like all the theatrics, like you could have just called. You could have just walked
off. I mean, hey, listen, Dwayne Wade got carried off, for a dislocated shoulder. So I mean, like, what are we saying? Like,
and they won the game, so really can't say.
Because I mean, I'm a Celtics fan too, but I'm saying, like, was that necessary? Like, no, don't. If you people gonna talk about LeBron be acting, no, the Oscar goes to Paul Pierce because that is unnecessary. That's all I gotta say. It was so unnecessary.
Nah, I feel like all time as far as like acting, like, nah, give LeBron an Emmy. Because
man,
he's like the flopping and then the crying.
I'm not gonna
give that to Marcus Smart. Give that to him.
Marcus Smart. I ain't gonna hold you that game.
Marcus Smart be flopping too, but
he do. But that game LeBron had, like, I don't know, a couple. He was crying to the ref and whatnot, and then the nigga got to his knees. It was all. I was like,
yeah. That's when they had missed the I think they missed a call on his layup. He was fouled, and they went to
game winner.
It was very extra
against the Celtics. Yeah,
it was very, very, very extra. It was the most.
It was that was very theatrical.
But no, like, I think I got a couple more topics because you brought us into the Warriors type thing. I don't know if I want to talk about the West. Do I want to get into the West right now? No,
I'll be back. I'm about to go drop. I'll be back.
Oh, that's fine. Ron, what was I talking about before we got on the live? Who was I saying that I want to save if Kyrie? Okay, right? We talking about Kyrie. So, did you see the Kyrie video he just dropped? Was talking and was basically talking to his haters and stuff. Did you see that?
I don't remember for sure, but I'm about to go check it while I get a chance to.
Okay, well, I'm gonna briefly try to sum it up. Kyrie, and I don't know why he did this because it made me mad. He was basically saying that, talking to his haters, talking about, y'all only know me for 3 hours of the day or whatever. Y'all don't know my life outside of this, and you basically pegged this narrative on me and addressing all this stuff. And he was getting very, like, he was getting amp on it. He was talking his shit. But my thing is, it was so random because everybody at this point is starting to like Kyrie. Like, he settled down. He left the Nets, that drama. Mark Cuban over here dapping him up. He hugging him. Luka's cool with him. The media's posting him smiling. Everybody's like, everybody good on that. We good on Kyrie. Cool. We like forgiving his stuff. He came through with the little tassels from representing his coaches at the All-Star game. Everybody was cool on Kyrie. And then for him to jump back into this, it was like, dang, Kyrie, people starting to like you again. We good, but you brought this up. Why? We was good. The narrative was shifting for you. So what y'all think of that, basically, if you have seen it?
Man,
it's Kyrie. What you want me to say? He wears his emotions on his sleeve. People would like that he didn't. Yeah, people would like that he didn't.
You said the hate steroid. No, people were starting to like. If Mark Cuban hugging you, people over here dapping you up, you smiling, the media is covering like positive content on you. It was starting to turn around a little bit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, from maybe it's like that from our perspective. When you are Kyrie Irving, who knows what he's hearing or what he's seeing, and so. I don't, he felt the need to address it. Would I have done it in that situation? No. but he felt the need to address it. But this is nothing new. This is who Kyrie Irving is. We just got to accept it. We just like we accept any other basketball player with flaws that we don't particularly care for. But is it about that, or is it about the game?
Right.
Because if it's about the game, there's no flight there. If it's
Right,
about the person, now that's a whole nother, topic.
Right. I think for like Kyrie and y'all probably don't believe in zodiacs. I had to go check his zodiac because I was really confused. Like, why would he do this? So he's an Aries. Aries are fighters. Like, they know how to fight. They got hands. He got a Scorpio moon. And when you have a Scorpio anything, that means that you be having these moments where you either like really in your feelings or you emotional and dark. And it could go a lot of ways. Let's just say that. You could go to a really dark place. You could be mad. It's really moody. So I think that's where a lot of Kyrie's emotions and stuff we going with, where he feels so strongly about stuff. He woke. The brother woke, but he be having his moments. And this wasn't that moment. Swaggy, did you see the video?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, in any event, that's just my thoughts on it, because I was like, the media finally trying to give him some leeway. We moved past everything, and all we had to do was keep going forward. 40-point games continuing, and yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna switch it up real quick and ask y'all, because I want to talk about the GOAT. We're gonna talk about the GOAT right now. We're gonna talk about GOAT Harden. The GOAT, listen, like I said, the GOAT, we talking about GOAT Harden, like I said.
The honey bun? Okay.
No, don't do that. The GOAT Harden, the beard. We talking about him, how he's moved into the top 25 scoring list. My man's moved up. So with that being said, I wanted to ask you guys, is he finally, because people were disrespecting him, but now he's jumping on Embiid back, like literally. He's getting points. And is he starting to finally pivot and get the respect that he had before, because people was really violating my man's? You don't violate the GOAT like that. So what y'all think about that? Him moving up, do you think that's gonna shift his respect?
I don't think it changes people's perception on him. I mean, if anything, it kind of just makes it kind of doubles down, because they say that's exactly what he is, a scoring machine. It's me first, team second. So
no, they were saying that he would, like, we gonna put Embiid under the bus because he put the GOAT under the bus. Remember last year in the finals, Embiid came on the podium and said to people, that's not the same Harden in Houston. And now he looking like that same Harden, the GOAT Harden. So can we still get that credibility back? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's still not Houston Harden. Houston Harden was different.
We almost did. It's close.
Houston Harden, you gotta put that man in a bubble and put him in the Hall of Fame somewhere and just keep him there, because that was something that we'll probably never see again. So I'm not gonna make him live up to that. But where he's at now is where I expected him to be. But that's because he finally bought into his position on that team. He realizes, or he's come to the conclusion that I don't have to be the guy. Like, it's okay for Joel to be the guy. He doesn't have to be my wingman. I'm okay with being the wingman. And that's really all it takes, because once he made that mental adjustment, you can see it in his game, and you can see now he's free to play, and it frees him up on the floor. They too worried about Joel to, say, oh, now we got to worry about Harden on the wing, spotting up for a three, or now, and he's back in shape. So it's a testament to him getting himself back to where he needs to be mentally and accepting his role on where he's at. But I am hearing, I don't know if y'all heard, I am hearing that he does want to revisit the reunion between him and Houston.
I heard that too.
And that's not, to me, that's not good, because
it messes up the camaraderie.
Yeah, that's a red flag, because Houston is not in a position to win at all. And I mean at all. Right now, it's a dumpster fire.
Well, how do we know that he wasn't mentioning it as like he wants his jersey retired in Houston? Because that's what I thought he was saying. I thought he was saying
he wants to go back. Like, they're talking about like going back, and which boggles my mind, because
you doing good.
Daryl Morey, who was the GM for Houston at the time when he was playing, is the GM who got him to come to Philadelphia. I mean, in Philadelphia. So for him to go there now, okay, it's not any personal relationships, or at least not with any of the coaching staff or any of the upper management, because they're all gone from when you was there.
Right.
So
right.
is it the area, or are you looking to be the man again?
Mm-hmm.
Or you like, I'm confused because going to Houston does not take championship.
Well, do you think possibly, I'm gonna let you go, Swag, because I know you want to talk on this, but do you think possibly it's just like the same love that they give Derrick Rose? He wants to go back to Houston because he know that love is different. The same fandom, like people treat Harden, I think, in Houston the way they love Rose. Like wherever Rose go when he's in the Garden, he don't be playing the whole game. They be calling for his name to get in the game. Period. I think maybe Harden wants that back. Possibly.
Harden's not Rose. Harden is Rose is a different story. Rose was always humble. Even when he was at his height, he was always humble. And people loved him for it because it never changed. Harden was always that, I'm that guy. What are you talking about?
I don't think no. But Harden never talked like he was that guy. He would just play like that. Like, because first of all, most people don't even realize Harden's voice. Harden got that big Rick Ross beard, and he got like a high, soft voice. So when you hear it, you be like, hold up, is this Harden? You be confused. So he never really would talk like that.
Who was that? Wesley Johnson that he crossed up and he put on the floor and then looked at him and then shot the shot afterwards?
That was beautiful. But that's not talk.
That's not talk, but
you telling me any other player wouldn't do the same thing? You telling me Kyrie? You telling me LeBron? You telling me anybody else wouldn't do the same thing?
Nah, if they would have did it by now. They've had their moment. I mean, not like that.
In that position with like their arrogance or whatever, any player would have done the same thing. Only person
I give you LeBron with the poster he put on Jason Terry. That year where he was with Boston. I mean, he was with Cleveland against Boston.
Right.
And he went up and just boom and just, better yet, Tim Duncan. He did Tim Duncan filthy in the playoff. What? He put him straight on a poster. Didn't look at that. Just like he was like, you know what happened, big fella. The whole world seen it.
Yeah.
But when it came down to Harden, it was like that move was just the epitome of who he was. Like, I put you on the floor. I'm gonna just look at you. So you gonna get up and get this shot? Oh nah, I'm gonna shoot this. And we'll just go away. Like
that's not. I feel like anybody would have done it. Mike Brown, if he was playing on the floor, he would have done the same thing. He would have looked and been like, "Really, nigga? You thought he would have done the same thing?"
It reminded me of AI when he stepped over Tyronn Lue.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you. If he gave you that vibe, I understand it.
It was like, come on, man, what are you?
AJ, you
wrong.
back?
He's not wrong, but
AJ, you back? So like we was talking about the GOAT Harden. Oh, his thing. Yeah, I think your sound acting funny right now. You might want to mute it real quick and see if it comes back. It's still coming in fuzzy, so you maybe mute it right now and then come back.
Hold on. Now, what were you saying? I couldn't hear y'all.
Oh, so we was talking about the GOAT Harden, and y'all can say what you. I don't think he's the GOAT. Whatever. But we were talking about for the Sixers, like. No, Rob, what were we talking about? Because you was talking about he arrogant, even though I don't say that. But what were we talking about before that with Embiid?
Who's arrogant?
Oh, no, we just said he's finally learned to play his position with Embiid, and now you're seeing some of his best play come out.
Oh, okay. So the original question is this. Wait, the question is this. I'm saying for the GOAT Harden, the GOAT, he's moved up in the top 25 play all-time leading, scoring list. Is he finally going to get his due back respect because he's been disrespected for a minute?
I mean, he's been had it for me. Like Like he's had it for me. Though he's done almost everything that a lot of other players have done, except
Win the ring.
win a championship. You know, he's had in my opinion, a Dirk Nowitzki type of career, because Dirk Nowitzki would kill regular season. He's won a league MVP, but he just couldn't get over the hump.
That's a crazy comparison, but it makes sense.
But Harden shrank in the playoffs. I mean, bad. Nowitzki never. I'm sorry. I'm not to throw shade. Nowitzki never. He gave you his all. He ain't never not show up. He averaged more in the playoff than he did in the regular season.
I'll give
Nah. So this is where I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna bring us some facts. I don't feel like Harden has shrunk in the playoffs. Why? Hear me out. Not LeBron. James Harden took the Warriors with Kevin Durant to 7 games. Like, so LeBron James, he, got swept by them one year in the NBA Finals, and then the next year the Cavaliers, LeBron, lost 4 games to 1. So I'm gonna say that I don't feel like, if James Harden can take them to 7 games and LeBron James couldn't, no, I don't think that James Harden has shrunk or disappeared in the playoffs. Just off of the fact that he took the KD Warriors to 7 games alone. That's just my opinion.
That's a good take.
So what would you say when I forget who he played that year, but I believe he went. I don't know. I think he stopped shooting in the fourth quarter, or he put up some abysmal numbers in a very crucial Game 6. I don't know if it was the Western Conference Finals or if it was the divisional round, but he completely shrunk, and that's what got them out of the playoffs, because he just did not show up.
Right.
Just didn't show up. And this is supposed to be the guy that is so. Now I'm not saying this is a fact. He did not show up in that series.
Well, are you saying it because of that? And then, even though I don't want to count it, when he was with the Thunder, they try to put all the blame on him for not showing up in that instant as well.
Said the Thunder, when they were in the finals?
That's a completely different situation. I would never put that on him. He was a 6-man coming off the bench.
Okay.
That's insane. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no. So for me, there's been too many times he's dropped the ball in the play. Like, he'll ball out with Houston and Lee. He'll ball out in the regular season. Ball out. Where is that? If he had that same performance throughout the playoffs, he would have had a ring.
Mm-hmm.
So that
he just pulled off the face of the planet.
But like I said, that one year when he took the Warriors to Game 7,
mm-hmm.
And remember, Chris Paul was injured.
But he was there.
Yeah, Chris Paul was injured, and I want to say that was a game where the Rockets shot like 0 for 27 from 3. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I feel like if Chris Paul was healthy, I feel like
they might have won.
They might have won. That's just my opinion. But it's just like, you hear the what if, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I really don't like doing hypotheticals, but it a lot of stuff is situational, and you never know until you have the opportunity to perform. But I will say that this year, because James Harden, he's 34, he turns 35. His window's closing. He's been injury prone these past couple of years, and the league is lucky that they got him. Well, that the Sixers got him when he's at the tail end of his career. He's still, a phenomenal playmaker. He'll never lose his ability to dribble and pass and get assists. He's leading the league in assists, but he's not averaging. If he was averaging like the 35 points per game with like 11 assists, oh yeah, like the Sixers would be, what, at
Number
least
one in the league.
number one or number two in
I
the
say number two because the Celtics are still
and because it would be like a three-man race. But you said what?
No, I was just saying with her. She said number two, and I said she's right because Philly don't play no defense like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, so I feel like Philly plays defense, but they don't focus on defense because I mean, Doc Rivers, he's not a defensive coach. That's never been his focus. Because I mean, you look at the players and the teams that he's coached. He's coached some of the greatest offensive players ever. He coached, Tracy McGrady when he was Orlando. He was the coach of, the Celtics when Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce won, and Rajon Rondo. Like they all had like their best years, and he coached the Clippers. He coached the Clippers, with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. So he's an offensive coach. Like this year is this is Harden's year to win. If he doesn't win, like
I don't think this. Let me say this. I think he has like a few more years left of his career. I don't know how it's looking because I feel like if the Sixers were to make that move, they would really need a solid third piece. Not like Ben Simmons piece with Ron, you disrespectful. Not like a Ben Simmons piece where but they would need a solid third piece. Go ahead.
They need like three and Thompson or like
I would like
or
a solid
even like when JJ Redick when he was in Philly.
Yeah, like a solid 3-point shooter.
Yeah, like you need somebody that
I would say like just a solid 3-point shooter just to take up the slack. So like Embiid like double. Of course Harden gonna do his little shake and bake and but like just somebody to alleviate all that because they're gonna try to double Embiid and then they're gonna kick it out. But a third person would really like help that because
to take pressure like off of both of them because man the pick and roll with Joel Embiid and James Harden is nuts because James Harden obviously he can get to the rim, he's a playmaker, he's a slasher, but you get Joel Embiid at the top and then James Harden is going to drive. Like he's either going to get the foul call or he's going to kick it back out to Joel Embiid and Joel Embiid he's a jump shooting center. But if they had like that piece, like if they had like that pick and roll like where you can kick it out to a shooter on that right or the left and they're on the wing, like like I said, a Klay Thompson or a Ray Allen type of shooter. They need a shooter who can shoot it from like 35 to 40%. Somebody I feel like Buddy Hield will be
I feel like, to be honest, Wiggins is good on Warriors, but I don't feel like he hasn't gotten his liberty to kind of flourish. I think that would be a great situation if Wiggins went to the Sixers to flourish. It's odd, but like I really feel. Go ahead.
I can see that.
I feel like he would be a good piece and he would develop better than he already is because he should have developed before.
No, you know what? He looks great on the Warriors. I feel like he's a better fit on the Warriors than he will be on the Sixers. But I will say that honestly, Philly has, they it's coaching. Like Doc Rivers, like he's not that great of a coach to me. because
been
you
exposed a couple of times.
you got nobody's blown more 3-1 leads than him though as a head coach.
No, we know it. You saw the video.
So,
He's in the huddle. Was just like, y'all just play or something, and then it wasn't no coaching. It was just it was off the field.
Put the ball in the hoop. That's what we got to do.
Like players aren't being utilized properly, and they're not being motivated, because if you motivate a person enough, they're gonna go out and win. Like he had Paul Pierce. He made like a all defensive team when Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen were traded. So like I feel like I said, it's coaching, and then it's also motivation.
Right.
Because scoring is offense sells tickets, but defense wins games. Like you have to outscore your opponent, but you gotta play a little bit more defense too. And then it's like I feel like other players just don't step up when they should. I mean, I feel like if Jimmy Butler was playing on the Sixers still alongside James Harden and
that's what they wanted.
Joel Embiid.
Yo, I low-key feel like that's a little bit conspiracy, because Embiid, after he left, he still was trying to get him back. So I don't know why. It seemed like they really didn't want them together. And I'm just like, you're supposed to be Michael Jordan's son. Shouldn't you have a little bit more pull where you could have stayed with the Sixers? Like, it don't make no sense to me, but that's just my opinion. I'm gonna leave with one more question because we're gonna wrap it up. It's late. I ain't trying to keep y'all out too long. People driving, but okay. If there was any reunion current with any players you would ever want to see, we talking about Kyrie and LeBron.
I just missed what you said.
Huh?
I just missed what you said before a family reunion. I was running through an area that had bad reception. What did you say?
I said if there was ever, for the current environment or current, atmosphere with the NBA, that you could have an ideal reunion. We talking about Kyrie with LeBron. We talking about. In fact, we getting deep. We talking about KD, Harden, and Westbrook. We talking. we talk. First of all, that'll probably trump everything. We talking KD, Harden, and Westbrook. We talking Jimmy Butler back with Embiid. We talking, even if Harden wanted to go back to Houston, that's a possibility too. If you could have any reunion in the NBA and bring it back together, like, what would you want to see? Period. What would you want?
I'm back.
Give me Oklahoma. Give me.
Wait, Ron, what you say?
The Supersonics?
Give me Oklahoma back. Give me James Harden, give me Westbrook, and give me KD.
Yes.
Oh no, we don't need to see that again.
I gotta see where that goes.
That was the big three that nobody knew how everybody could be. It was
the first Golden State before Golden State.
Facts. I'll give you that.
It was the most sleeper big three ever.
You said they were
Huh?
You said they were the what?
They were the most sleeper big.
I said they were Golden State before Golden State.
Exactly.
Yep.
That 30 for 30 was crazy.
Because they had Serge Ibaka and Steven Adams.
Exactly.
I want to say they were Golden State before Golden State, because I mean, obviously, Golden State kept their key players together. What's that?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Because they drafted all the great players that are in the league today. They drafted
exactly.
That was all homegrown, organic. It's just like Golden State.
For sure. I'll say that James Harden wasn't homegrown, because James Harden became the player he was after he left OKC.
No, I understand. I agree with that. But there could. Do you agree that there could have been room, just like with Kobe developing, even if Shaq didn't come, that he could have grown into that player if they stuck together a little longer? Do you think that would have happened?
I feel like Kobe would have became the player that
I'm talking about Harden. I'm talking about Harden.
Oh, Harden? No, because of Westbrook. I don't think that if he stayed in OKC, absolutely not. Because
why we playing
you
Westbrook
know,
for everything?
Nah,
though?
that prime Oklahoma with Westbrook, I ain't gonna hold you. It was looking raw back then.
It was.
Nah,
Oh,
it
it
wasn't.
was raw. Like
That was good.
nah.
That was good basketball, baby.
And I bet
So
you everybody would have been on the Oklahoma bandwagon. I bet you everybody would have said, "Ooh, that's a super
like,
team."
no,
I mean,
like,
nah, it was a lot of people that was like riding OKC, but like a lot of it boils down to two things:
they wouldn't have worked.
ownership, and coaching. So I say ownership because you can't be a winning team if you're not willing to spend that bread.
That's true.
And
I also think Scott
$1
Brooks,
billion,
like you said,
you're a billionaire.
right.
That's what I said.
said
I
what?
said the same thing.
I think Scott Brooks was also just too young of a coach to handle
And
that.
then that was the second point I was going to make. Coaching. You go and look up the the stats from the 2012 NBA Finals when the Heat and the Thunder played each other. Thabo Cephalosha took more shots than James Harden. That's ridiculous. Thabo Cephalosha like shot the clip more than Harden. Nah, that's nuts. Like I've always hated Scott Brooks as a coach.
But he was inexperienced. Like he got that job, and like I think he was winging it. He didn't know he was gonna get literally the lottery, and he just was inexperienced to get. He got the lottery, bro. He literally got the lottery. Didn't know how to spend it, and ended up broke. Like that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I just like I said, it all boils down to two things: ownership and coaching, and then also drafting and player development. Because we talk about like homegrown talent and players that allow their players the chance to like grow and develop into the players who that they are. I'd say, my opinion, the best teams that allow their players to grow and to develop into stars and superstars is the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics.
The Warriors.
Because
you
look at
the Sixers.
Jalen Brown and Tatum. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
You said remember who?
I was gonna say the Sixers were trying to do that, but then Ron don't like Ben Simmons. But with the trust the process, I think they really were. It was trying to be like that. It just they didn't have the right pieces to do what the Warriors did. They didn't have those pieces. Those.
Nah. So the like it's not. It's like I said, like ownership, coaching, and ownership, coaching, drafting, and developing players. The Sixers passed up on Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram.
I forgot about that.
And they traded Jimmy Butler too.
Exactly, they traded away.
Yeah, but we're talking about like homegrown talent and player development. The Sixers passed on Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram. Like that's ridiculous. And they what's crazy is they had the number one pick. They want to say they traded and somehow ended up with I want to say the Celtics had either had the number one or the number three pick. It was between I know Boston had the number one and Philly had number three, or it might have been Philly had number three and then got number one. But either way, yeah, you know what? Because Markelle Fultz, I want to say he was the number one pick that year. So they took Markelle Fultz over Jason Tatum.
Man, can you imagine when Jason Tatum and
I forgot.
Embiid?
Like that's crazy when you look back
What?
at it. That's crazy.
Nah, so I mean, like Philly is just horrible at Philly's just horrible at drafting players. Like it's
They horrible at building, and then
and then they're horrible at player development too, because Markelle Fultz, like in college, he wasn't that bad and he was a better shooter. It's just something happens to players in Philly. I don't know what it is, but something happens. I mean,
remember you said it's the fandom. You said it's the fans. They really assholes. That's what you said, Philly. If you been sorry.
Oh yeah.
But you said the Philly fans is assholes, and that's why it messes the players up.
Yeah,
for
they're toxic.
sure. Nah, like I got family out in Philly. Like, listen,
Oh,
like
man.
yeah, nah, they if you're not winning. And then if you're not, and not only winning, if you're not playing how you're expected to play, they're not rocking with you. And James Harden is the perfect fit because he's an entertainer, like he's a hooper, like he's a baller. And if James Harden, if the Houston Rockets, James Harden, if they got him like. 5 years ago? Oh yeah, Embiid and Harden, like just them two alone.
And Jimmy, oh my God, they would have had a ring, bro.
And Jimmy, like because
so mad.
The Bucks weren't who they were. The Celtics definitely weren't who they were. Because you had a young Jason Tatum. He's still young. But he was a baby.
Point, Kyrie was over there, right? At that point,
and then Giannis was still working to become who he was. So that would have been the perfect opportunity for the 76ers to win, but they
fumbled it.
I don't know.
The NBA would be so much different on everything if OKC had won. The dynasties, everything would be completely different. Like I swear to God, like everything would be completely it would just be wild.
Yeah, the KD hate would have never been existed.
You said what?
I said the KD the hate would have never been existed.
The hate would have never like, to be honest, because all that stuff has happened, LeBron might never have went to the Lakers if that transpired and OKC was like that, and then the Sixers he would have stayed in the East, to be honest.
I ain't gonna hold you. LeBron would have probably won no more championships if that would have
happened. But where would he? Because where would he have stayed? Because Kyrie left the Cavaliers, and the Heat. They were rebuilding.
I could see LeBron in the Celtics jersey. I could see it.
Nah, he said he said that was the last place that he would play.
Yeah, he
is. Orlando and Boston, like he said, no, two places that he just won't play.
Well,
so LeBron hates Boston and Boston hates LeBron. So
it's a marriage.
Nah, I don't see.
This is because what LeBron did.
You said what? You said, can you guess what LeBron what?
No, I'm just saying what LeBron did to the Celtics in 2012. That's why they don't like it.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Oh yeah, and that's another and that's another reason why I don't like him. Like, just one of the few reasons why I don't like him is because like he got in the way of Paul Pierce getting a couple more chips.
We don't care about Paul Pierce.
That's the truth.
Listen.
Get it?
Listen. I care about.
I love the big three with the Celtics,
Can't
but
speak
I
the
lost
truth.
all respect for Paul Pierce because he be doing like the most like head ass shit. I can't fuck with.
I wouldn't.
He brought y'all a championship.
So
I give him that.
So I feel like he does a lot of it I feel like he draws a lot of the slander to himself, but he just don't care because
He
I feel like Paul
does.
Pierce don't get the respect that he deserves. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves because out of the 98 draft class, it was him, Paul Pierce. It was Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, and Dirk Nowitzki. Paul Pierce should have been like arguably the number one pick. Like he made it to what the Elite Eight that year, and when he played in Kansas, yeah, you could have like because the 1998 draft was weak. It only had Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, and like Dirk. Like other than that, like everybody else was just trash.
Kind of mid,
Trash.
yeah. So collectively, and we're gonna wrap it up. Everybody here on the panel says if there was a reunion, all of us collectively would want that Thunder reunion, if it could happen with Harden, KD.
Nah, because Westbrook is gonna be, building houses with all the bricks.
Man,
Westbrook.
That's a different time, Brody. It's a different time.
Who's a hater, bro?
Even back when, like the year that he played in the finals, I want to say it was one game he had like 40 points, and Magic Johnson said that was like one of the worst finals performances that he's ever seen. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's like the numbers can be misleading.
Right.
Yeah, you can put up, a triple double, and you can, have 40 points, but like, how many turnovers? How many turnovers have you had? How many assists have you had? How many blocks have you had? How many steals have you had? Like,
but we're talking about a reunion with the
no, hell no, absolutely not. I'd rather see.
Come on, man.
I'd rather see LeBron and Kyrie like get back together, and I think it's gonna happen because Kyrie's a rental.
But you hate LeBron, so are you telling me you hate Westbrook more than you hate LeBron, or what is it?
Nah, I definitely hate LeBron more, but LeBron's style of play is more efficient. He's more efficient, and then the way that Kyrie Irving and LeBron play together, like,
I'm telling you this, Jay, right now. If you had, not just because it's more than one play, if you had if you had Harden, KD, and Westbrook together, opposed to Kyrie and LeBron, they would get a ring just because it's so. You said
if you had who?
You had that original OKC Big Three. They would get a ring because they're more mature now. Even though you hate Westbrook, they're more mature.
I don't think so.
You was a hater, bro.
I don't think so because like
Westbrook, KD, and Harden.
Russell Westbrook's decision making is horrible, and then on top of that,
wait. So you telling me his assists have gotten better? Statistically, his assists are dramatically better. So you telling me his decision still ain't good? Like, what do you mean?
Nah, I don't.
And he was shooting good back then too.
I don't think so. And then James Harden, to me, James Harden, he can't stay healthy. And then he ain't got no heart. He don't have no heart.
Now you're not gonna talk about the GOAT. You a hater.
Cause hear me out. God damn, bro, people cannot drive. But so I feel like if James Harden, slugged it out in Brooklyn, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, they would have had a ring. If he just waited like one more year,
yeah, I heard.
And waited for that vaccine mandate to be lifted, because like the numbers that they was putting up, like they were putting up historical numbers.
They were.
And they only played the equivalent of an NFL season together. They only played 16 games together.
Right.
Which is crazy. But I want to say they didn't lose a game when they were on the floor. So, like, you give them a couple more shooters, and they had a shooter. They got Joe Harris. You give a shooter and like a center, somebody to, like
A defensive
go
player,
for
like an actual defensive player,
like for like pick and rolls and blocking shots and protecting the rim.
right?
It would have worked. It was working, but
Right.
what affected that team was injuries, but most importantly, the vaccine mandate. So
I heard that Harden left because it was a Kyrie. Like I've heard that he didn't.
Yeah, because James Harden was being pussy for real. Like he should have.
Hold up, no, you know what?
Oh,
We're
man.
not gonna disrespect the GOAT, but anyways, Paul Pierce's ass. I gotta say that.
Whoa.
That don't.
At least he
I
got a
gotta
ring over Harden.
We're not gonna
I'm
disrespect the
not
GOAT
mad
real
at
quick.
you on that note.
And the finals MVP.
On
Yep.
that
And the
note,
finals.
go Harden. On that note,
He's a GOAT, but I mean I'm gonna call it like it
She don't
is.
want to
Like,
hear that.
yo, like this shit was soft. Like the shit was soft. Like if he just, cause
That's crazy.
like I said, I mean,
you think Harden would have been carried off the court if he had to fake a shit? Like, you think Harden would do that? No, only Paul Pierce would do that. So don't do that to Harden. We about to wrap it up, guys. Anyway,
hey, it's all good. Hey, I don't know Paul Pierce personally. Like, he don't pay none of my bills, none of that. So,
well, anyway, do y'all got any final thoughts? We gonna wrap it up tonight.
I'm not
the
a dick
Suns is
rider.
not going to the finals.
I know, like a lot of guys do, but I would never like.
Well, Jay, I don't know if you under
defend,
something, but it's breaking up a little bit.
Anybody who doesn't contribute to my life.
All right, well, Swaggy, you want to go first? Do you have any final thoughts?
The Sun. Oh yeah, is everybody still thinking the Suns is going to the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to the East. Well, the conference finals.
Okay.
All right, Ron, what's up? What's your final thoughts?
Go Knicks. Everybody hated. They didn't think they'd be as high in the power rankings as they are. They legit, even though I know they just lost to Charlotte, the Knicks.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They shouldn't have lost that game, but that's neither here nor there. Brunson was a great addition. I like Josh Hart. I feel like they're headed in the right direction. And T-Mac should have been top 75 player all time. I'm out.
I agree. All right, Jay, what's your final thoughts? What'd you say? Jay, you got any final thoughts?
Man, reception ate them up.
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now. What's up?
My final thoughts. I feel the Celtics have like that all-star break syndrome. So, they were the number one seed prior to the all-star break, but I feel like the seeding doesn't matter. I feel like they are. I feel like they're gonna figure it out. Because if not, then the talks of keeping Jason, Tatum and Jaylen Brown together, it's gonna be a topic of discussion. So I'm not worried about the Celtics. Like they're gonna.
Y'all might get shot, but the Knicks is going to the finals.
No, stop.
Wait, so you saying the Knicks are gonna meet the Warriors?
Yep.
Man.
And if that's the case, they're gonna get swept. Like,
well, if that's the case, give Rose the MVP. He need just give him an honorary MVP if that's the case.
Nah,
cool
Julie
with that.
Campbell gets the MVP.
Let's go Knicks.
Anyways, all right, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up. All the Regis comments, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Jay, Ron, Swag. Thank you.
Yep.